Welcome to Storyflix. In this video, we will explain the second part of Squid Game. Squid Game is a Netflix original series about people who have all struggled financially in life. They were then invited to play a mysterious survival competition with deadly twists. How terrible is this bloody game? Let's find out in Squid Game Part 2. Squid Game Part 2 begins in a large room where players who have completed the Cotton Candy Challenge are gathered. The committee came in to bring some soju and boiled eggs, then ordered the participants to queue up one by one. Because they were still hungry and thirsty, Deok-soo and his men entered the queue again. It turned out that the committee had prepared the right number of snacks for their participants, so that some participants did not get food or drink. A participant who was angry because he did not get a snack then came to Deok-soo, but he is not an opponent for Deok-soo. Deok-soo even beat him until he was battered and dead. Suddenly, the incident took everyone by surprise. Ji-hoon then asked the committee to take firm action on Deok-soo, but the organizers of the game don't care what happens outside of the game. The death of a participant made the prize money increase because the number of participants was decreasing. This then gave an idea to Deok-soo. He plans to kill the other contestants to have less competition and secure his chances of winning. Deok-soo then arranges a plan with his men and intends to carry out their actions while everyone is asleep. However, the other participants had also anticipated the possibility of an attack from Deok-soo and his men. Unknowingly, they too have been divided into several groups trying to cooperate and protect their group. On the other hand, several committee members were seen working with one participant. They were about to do something that the game organizers didn't know. One committee even manipulated the CCTV camera footage in the control room. It turned out that the participant was a doctor who worked with the committee to perform autopsies on the bodies of the eliminated participants. They took vital organs from the participants' bodies and then sold them on the black market so they could earn money. In return, the doctor gets information about the next game to prepare himself and have a great chance of winning it. In the evening, the participants were asked to rest and lights were turned off. After all the lights went out, Deok-soo and his men immediately carried out their cruel actions. The huge room in an instant turned into a slaughter site filled with screams of pain and loud crashing sounds. The darkness and completeness made it difficult for the participants to save themselves. After making sure Sang-woo and Ali are okay, Ji-hoon and the two then look for Il-nam, but the old man was not in his bed. Apparently, Il-nam had managed to save himself by climbing into the top bed. He then shouted for the participants not to kill each other. After the old man said this, suddenly the light came on, then the committee members entered the room and secured the situation. The big room looked very messy and horrific, with corpses and blood splattered everywhere. The committee acted quickly to evacuate the participants' bodies. After the fateful incident, the participants were then gathered in another room and asked to form groups of 10 people. Having received information about the game today, the doctor then informed Deok-soo and had joined his group. While the other participants chose their groups randomly, Ji-hoon chose a group consisting of his closest friends during the game, such as Sang-woo, Ali, and Il-nam. It turns out the game in this round is a tug-of-war, but not like the usual tug-of-war. The participants will do a tug-of-war above a height so that the losing team will immediately fall from a height and die. After knowing the game that they'll be playing, Ji-hoon is worried because there are 3 women and 1 grandfather whose physical condition is not so great in his team. Ji-hoon's team then became an easy target for other teams that looked stronger. Long story short, Ji-hoon's team finally got their turn to compete against the other participating teams who looked stronger than them. Sang-woo had already felt desperate because his team members weren't as strong as their opponents. But then, Il-nam tells some tips and tricks in a tug-of-war that they can do to win the match this time. They need to work together and cultivate a high sense of trust among team members. Il-nam's trick proved successful early in the game. However, because the difference in physical strength of Ji-hoon's team and the opposing team is quite far, finally, Ji-hoon's team is getting more and more pressed and has difficulty turning the situation around. At crucial moments, Sang-woo asks his team to take a reckless action by taking 3 steps forward. If the timing is right, they will knock down the opposing team and come out victorious. Ji-hoon and the others seem to be indecisive, but they finally decide to follow Sang-woo's words because they believe in him. After trying their hardest, Ji-hoon's team finally managed to turn things around and win that match. After the tug-of-war ended, the number of remaining participants became 40, and the nominal amount of prize money is now doubled. The participants' bodies who were eliminated from the tug-of-war game were collected, and the committee called the doctor to perform an organ harvesting operation. This time, Jun-ho was assigned by a committee to participate in an organ delivery. There, Jun-ho could only witness the cruelty of the organizers who used the participants' body to get money without being able to do anything. As usual, the doctor asked the committee for a reward for completing his task, but organizers say that they have not been notified by the organizers of the games to be played next. Suddenly, the doctor panicked and got angry because Yaksu would kill him if he couldn't provide any information regarding the next game. The doctor then attacked one of the committee members and killed him with a surgical knife. After that, he ran away from the committee, down the winding dark alleys until he arrived upon the arena of the curry game. A committee who managed to catch up to him then cornered the doctor and told him to not act rashly because he didn't want Frontman to know what they were doing. However, unbeknownst to them, Frontman already knew all about their actions and did not hesitate to kill the corrupt committee members. After that, Frontman took the doctor's life. Frontman didn't care about the corrupt actions of some of his subordinates, but he highly values justice and equality in the game. Therefore, Frontman could not tolerate any participant receiving special treatment from the committee or game organizer. On the other hand, Jun-ho and one of the organizers walk down the hall and infiltrate one of the secret passages that have been prepared for organ delivery. After successfully reaching the end of the secret passage, the committee suddenly pointed a knife at Jun-ho's neck. It turns out that they have been observing his suspicious movements all this time. Having been caught, Jun-ho takes off his mask, but he manages to threaten the committee and shoots him in the head. After successfully killing a committee member, Jun-ho infiltrates the Frontman's room and intends to find information about his brother's whereabouts. On the other hand, Frontman and his men comb the entire area to hunt down the corrupt organizers. Frontman and his men managed to find a secret passage that Jun-ho had passed and found the body of a committee member there. He then examined the committee's corpse and found a bullet casing in his forehead. From the bullet, he was able to confirm that the bullet came from a police gun. Frontman then mobilizes all his men to hunt down the intruder throughout the game area. Meanwhile, Jun-ho, who was in the Frontman's room, checked room after room warily. He finally finds a slightly hidden archive room. There were many shelves filled with files from the players who had followed the game several years ago. He then checked the files the same year his brother disappeared. As he had predicted, he received information about his brother, who had indeed been a participant in the game. It's time to start a new game. The participants were shocked by the horrific sight of the bodies of several committee members and the doctor being hanged on their way to the location of the game. The game organizers issued an official apology and warned that what had happened to the doctor and the organizers could happen to all of them if they cheated. The participants were then asked to pair up. Since the number of players remaining is 39, one person cannot participate in the game. Everyone is looking for their respective partners, but no one wants to partner with Il-nam because they think that they will play a game that requires physical strength, and with his weak physical condition, they are afraid that they can't win the match. Gi-hun, who feels sorry, finally chooses Il-nam to be his partner. Everyone has got their respective partners except Min-ryung. She was immediately taken away by the committee to another place. After arriving at the game location, the participants are given 10 marbles each. The players are given 30 minutes to pick up their partner's marbles, and the player who manages to get 20 marbles at the end of the game is declared to have passed this game and has the right to continue the game in the next round. There is no specific rule about how the participants take the marbles belonging to their opponents. They may use various means, and the committee will only supervise them. Gi-hun has to be extra patient to explain the procedure for this game to Il-nam. Because Il-nam is senile, he just walks around and wastes time, ignoring the games that are going on. This makes Gi-hun angry and yells at him. Finally, Il-nam came to his senses and started playing. Ji-hun and Il-nam play a simple game where they only have to guess the number of marbles in their hands, whether odd or even. Unexpectedly, Il-nam manages to guess several times correctly so that his marbles increased and Ji-hun's marbles decreased. Ji-hun panicked, and even more because the committee monitoring them was getting ready to fire bullets at them. On the other hand, Sang-woo is paired with Ali. They both play a fair game, and Ali almost wins the game for getting more marbles than Sang-woo. Ali, who is soft-hearted, feels sorry and bad for Sang-woo, but Sang-woo scolds him and says that one of them will surely die. Sang-woo, who had lost, was playing cunningly. He took advantage of Ali's innocence and exchanged Ali's marbles for the stones he had collected. Sang-woo finally came out victorious. On the other hand, Se-ba-yu is paired with a girl named Ji-young. The two women decided instead to have a chat. Ji-young realizes that Se-ba-yu deserves to be the winner because she is fighting to stay alive for her sister in the orphanage, while Ji-young has no one else since she killed her cruel father. Ji-young deliberately succumbs so that Se-ba-yu can win the game this time. Back to Ji-hun and Il-nam, the two continue to play until Ji-hun's marbles are only one left. On the last chance, Ji-hun almost lost because his guess was wrong. But as it turns out, Il-nam's senile disease recurs, and the old man forgets his guess. Ji-hoon then took advantage of this, and the incident continued until he managed to turn things around. Ji-hoon now has many marbles, and Il-nam only has 1 marble. Time goes on and is almost up, but Il-nam is stalling for time. The old man tells Ji-hoon to play 1 more round, risking all the marbles they have. But Ji-hoon refuses because Il-nam only has 1 marble, while he has 19 marbles. Il-nam then reveals that all this time, he only pretended to be senile and knew all of Ji-hoon's tricks, but he deliberately let Ji-hoon fool him. Ji-hoon immediately feels guilty to Il-nam for deceiving him. The man felt ashamed of himself for fooling an old geezer for his benefit. Il-nam did not mind this. He took Ji-hoon's hand and gave him his 1 last marble. He then expressed his gratitude to Ji-hoon because he always cared for him during the game. Il-nam then hugged Ji-hoon tightly and said that he was very happy in the last days of his life thanks to him, who was always by his side. 30 minutes had passed and the game time was up. The participants who did not have marbles such as Il-nam, Ali, and Ji-young were declared unsuccessful and eliminated by being shot dead. The second part of the Squid Game ends. The second part of the Squid Game showed Ji-hoon and Se-byeol devastated because their partner had to be eliminated. Sadness is also etched on Sang-woo's face because he was forced to trick Ali to continue the game. What will happen to Ji-hoon and the other participants who are still alive? And will Jun-ho be able to uncover who the mastermind behind the Ruthless Games Syndicate is? Wait for the next part, here on Storyflix.